Leadership qualities are seldom seen in the modern world, and in their absence have been replaced by managerial skills instead. But if we take a look at our primordial evolution, we will see that those with the ability to influence groups and individuals are at the forefront of our history. Those that are celebrated for their bravery, valour, visionary thinking, and the fundamental skill of enacting change. The archetype of the leader still holds such merit in our collective psyche, as well as it will continue to do so for a very long time. There are many people that are looking to be led by someone or something that can embolden their fight against uncertainty, doubt and mediocrity. Being led provides a sense of security and comfort, as we all as human beings must acknowledge at some point that we are stronger together, and that by being led it provides and increases our chance of survival and success. Compare that to being isolated and without direction. In order to understand this, let's use as a thought experiment the analogy of battles and wars, in hopes that maybe we can translate this to a modern context as well. Leaders position themselves at the front of their army, folk, and those they are directing. They have a high level of effective communication that enables them to be able to humanise a cause, embolden spirits, and venture into new territory.
You've come to fight as free men, and free men you are.
Leaders understand their position and the responsibility that comes with it. They aren't shy about speaking truth, support, credit and praise where it's needed, as well as aren't opposed to direct communication to overcome barriers and doubt.
The same fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day.
They're able to sell an outcome with some level of certainty, not only to themselves but to the people that stand behind them too. They ensure their word that they will also risk everything it takes to see this outcome come into fruition.
What will you do with that freedom to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance? Just one chance!
Obviously I'm picking very tongue-in-cheek examples when I'm drawing upon entertainment to reiterate these points. They're archetypically the similar sort of kind of leader. Now the Aragon character is a fantastic character because all throughout the books and all throughout the films he's avoidant of his responsibility as a leader. He diminishes his lineage. He doesn't really want much to do with the fact that he is the perfect candidate to lead the people against the fight against evil and to fight the good fight. And it emboldens and it enlivens the people who are following him because he has the respect that they are willing to lay down their life for this good fight. But he's not doing that from the back and shouting out orders. He's there present in that moment. He has a commanding presence to say, look, it's against us. We might lose this, but let's go out this way. This is the way we want to do it. And there's a particular part in that film when Aragon looks over and looks back at all the people and this particular look he gives, and then he just beelines in towards, direct fire into the enemy, right in the way of danger, right in harm's way. And you kind of see with the other characters that were behind him, they kind of look shocked that he's sort of run first of all, and there's this follow-on effect where they go, oh shit, we better run too, and run straight down. Obviously then with the William Wallace one, another classic story, the Scottish going to fight against the English and their opposing kind of force against them. Exactly the same if you look archetypically speaking about how that speech is delivered. There again, he is at the front of the army. He is calling out and saying, look, there's a chance of imminent death. Would you rather go out on your shield or would you rather go out on your knees? And because of that, he, in that particular iconic scene, that iconic speech, he able to humanise the cause, what they are doing it for, what may happen, but he gives them a level of certainty. Obviously everybody who's seen that film knows what he says to them. If you looked at the series Vikings with the depiction of King Aila, and this particular part, King Aila is arriving to meet the great heathen army, and you can just see by the way that he positions himself on the way prior to the battle, the difference between someone who's got those leadership qualities and those that potentially are just managing a situation, firefighting a situation. King Aila is very much away from his army. He's not at the front. He's sitting back barking orders from behind. And again, a very, very kind of poignant scene, because anyone who's seen that show will notice that he goes from this absolute certainty, this level of expectation that he has, oh, we're going to just smash him up, it's going to be no problem whatsoever, what are they doing coming to us? He goes from that, sees on the opposing side the great heathen army with their leaders within their mavericks, all these individuals that are willing to fight and do what needs to do to get the job done, and you could just see his face change, because he wasn't there to lead, he was there to manage the situation. He was there to take credit for the outcome being them slaughtered and them going home. He wasn't there to lead and to go out by example or to be that role model. These are, as I said, entertainment examples, but if we use the visceral, primal analogy of war, we kind of see where it kind of goes. Would you rather die with someone who's at the front alongside you, or would you rather be getting orders barked at you from behind? And I think that this is human nature, that there's part of us that when we are looking to be led, we're looking for someone to say, look, I'm right by your side and I am at the pinnacle, I'm at the point of being there for you. If we then fast forward quite a few hundred years later, we come away from the idea of this once primal form of leadership and management, where perhaps swords, shields and the fantasy of a cause are done away with. Instead, we replace this with suits, structures and hierarchies that epitomise modern living. In the modern age, there are vast internal structures that separate the defined roles of managers and leaders. Many of these structures create a line in what's referred to as middle management, and the positions of leaders are reserved for those higher up the structure and heads of the board. Managers are tasked with the role of managing their subordinates beneath them and reporting and taking direction from the leadership roles. Intel and direction are filtered through this structure until the persons within the organisation are delivered their task, duties and responsibility.
Did you see the memo about this?
Yeah, I have the memo right here. I just forgot, but it's not shipping out till tomorrow, so there's no problem.
Yeah.
Managers, on the other hand, position themselves on top or behind the force, instructing and delegating tasks step by step. They are key in diplomacy and are sometimes conflict avoidant themselves. To them, the task is to be completed step by step until the outcome is achieved. They humanise themselves with approachability and rapport and tailor information based upon a need-to-know basis. Their duty is transactional between task, delegates and incentives.
Bill talked to me about it.
Yeah. Did you get that memo?
You could argue there's still a part of us, though, that yearns for the leadership of old, with virtue, valour, purpose and courage, and again are replaced by the clown show that is politics, and the acknowledgement that these individuals, regardless of position, are going to act on the opposite behalf of the people they claim to be leading and serving. We may have the same biology as our ancestors, but modern life couldn't be more different. We as a collective aren't the same people looking to William Wallace to fight for our very survival and freedom. We instead replace this with a process of quote-unquote earning a living. So you couldn't imagine William Wallace calling a meeting with one of his squad members to discuss working conditions, holidays, or a disciplinary because he hurt his feelings of another co-worker. Life was brutal, so the leadership had to be of that same extreme. Despite the separating of these roles, the most successful of managers aim to develop leadership qualities too. For if they can gain respect, speak with conviction and know-how, facilitate growth and utilise friction, then they are somewhat in a better position to achieving the outcomes of the business and do so with a squad on their side. It was once told to me that managing is just babysitting for adults, and I must say I agree. In the current state of affairs, both the workforce and workplace have their work equally cut out, dealing with staff emotional fitness, poor management, and seemingly more fruitless causes and reward. We must always examine history to gain an understanding of the present, so leadership qualities aren't just alive in the heroic ideals and stories, but found in the dispositions of attractive, successful, and purposeful people. When life is chaotic, we look to it frantically to manage. This is a different stance to that of leading a life. Regardless if you are looking for a leader or looking to be managed, I would invite you to take the position that if you are not willing to be led, then you must become the leader of your own life. Stop looking to individuals that are only capable of managing, and look to create yourself a character that is able to lead on any facet of your life that you wish to do so.